Peace, none is it, non-ascension. You already know what it is. So, quick video. I want to talk about the signs and symbols and sigils that are surrounding us completely. And if you know God, you know the language that's being spoken to us. And I'm talking about the souls. So, us being in this physical plane, you see that the knowledge of God is here, but you know, all of these things that are surrounding us as far as these shapes, symbols, and letters. It's more so on a dumbed down level. So, with that being said, you have to understand that on a higher level, that's what the gods, the real gods, deal with. So, yeah, I was interrupted, how these things goes when you talk about things outside the matrix, always interruptions. So the knowledge and the knowing of the gods is knowing the symbols and the sigils. And we talking about high frequency sigils, high frequency languages, high frequency energy to be accurate. We are in a low frequency of symbols, sigils, and you know what I'm saying, shapes and stuff like that. The air we breathe is energy, and within the air that we breathe is not wind, is energetic codes that was programmed into this dimension. So it's never wind, it's not a breeze. That's like matrix terms to have you think on a mundane level, a human level, so to speak. And you know we breathe in codes. We breathe in signs, symbols, and sigils, or what have you. That's what we breathe in every day. We breathe in the codes in our houses, not even just the energy that been synchronized within this program computer called Earth. We breathing in all types of energies that go along with the foundation of those Earth energy codes that have been programmed here. You breathing in the codes that's painted on your walls, the codes that are just in your house, period. The shapes and symbols that are in your house that you're unaware of, that you don't see, which is in a holographic world. When your third eye is closed. And when I say closed, I mean like undermined. When your your third eye is definitely undermined, meaning it's not operating at its optimum performance. So you breathing in codes that you can't even see, smell, or taste. The more you get in tune with your soul, the more you will breathe in the energetic codes that's coming from the sun. You'll have more access as your frequency begin to elevate more and more and more. When it begins to advance at optimum level, and it doesn't stop there. That's why you guys have to know that being a spiritual being, that is foreign to souls. Being a spiritual being is very foreign. That's not us, and it will never be us. And this is a message to the souls. We always operated on soul energy, ether. Ether is not electric. Electricity is water energy on a lower level. So yeah, the soul always been us and always will be us. And when we operate on a spiritual frequency, we only dumb ourselves down. That's why you have agents out there that are implants that have been recruited into the conscious community, whether it be content creators, those who be on Instagram, Facebook, and then you got these guys, they still bumping this Bible thing, this theme. Like I said, the jewels is still in there. There's some jewels in there, but not to be taken literal. You know, it doesn't make sense. It's just like an individual who has 100% pure key of Coke, and then they dilute it with baking soda and all types of other shit. The whole fact of the matter is that, hold on. Yeah, I was being interrupted again. I had to get up on out of there. So the thing is this, is that you have, a whole pure key of Coke, and then it's being diluted, it's being chopped down, stumped on, and things of that nature. And with that being said, it's not pure anymore once it gets stumped on. And that's the thing with these Bibles. These Bibles don't have the pure knowledge in there. It's not, the word of God. And then you have men who edited the book and, took things out and entered this, entered that inside, the passages and stuff like that. So, with that being said, how is that the word of God and it's been tampered with? Isn't God an omnipotent God and things of that nature, all powerful? So my question is, why would an all powerful God that sent a book of God down to earth would have it tampered with? But that's another video. I'm not going to even get into that, but that book itself is a book of spells and is dealing with the spirit. They have some soul references in there, to give you an idea, but realistically, it's a spirit book and it has rituals in it. But nonetheless, back to what I was saying, we live amongst signs and symbols. Plain and simple. This is a physical earth that's dealing with the living and dealing with the dead. More so the dead because, this is hell. And I keep saying it over and over. Earth is hell. This is a school where gods need to learn. Like I said, we are not spirits. The moment you operate on a spiritual frequency, you want a deaf tone, you want a deaf frequency. Don't nobody gotta like this video or whatever. At beyond it all, not the end of the day, but beyond of it all, this is true reality. You know what I'm saying? Look at this chessboard, like shapes. Everything is shapes and symbols and letters. You know what I'm saying? Down to the clothes you wear, the sneakers you buy, the products you use on your day-to-day living, the house that you live in, the cars that you drive. These things are surrounding us every day. So, one who have the proper understanding would know that these things are necessary all through all dimensions, and even on a highest dimension. So yeah. With that being said, know where you at. And another thing, like for those souls, the guys and goddesses out there, stay true to self. Look yourself in the mirror and the blueprint that was given to you as far as the vessel that you're occupying, live it to the fullest. And I mean in the sense of advancing your soul, advancing your body, heighten your light, heighten your powers. It's a lot of fake people out in the conscious community. And what they do is they scout out and look for people that's really in tune and they want to, advertise them, but on the other hand, keep you in the loop with continuously relying on them. You know what I'm saying? If you're not careful, and I'm talking about those who share videos of other people actually making moves and advancing their power. And that's another thing. Like you really not supposed to be showcasing your divinity like that. A lot of those things, those technique skills should be in private. Those things should be on a lower level of exercising and stuff like that. Dealing with the physical workout, but you know the world is the people's oyster. I can't tell people what to do. So I'm just saying, our people, we should be more private, and that's why we're not successful in ruling anything, because we want to just be loud. We just want to be loud. We want to show the world that we can do this and do that. We got to learn how to be private. But like I said, these spiritual cats, you have people who are enemies that look like us, dress like us, try to move like us. But they've been recruited, they sold out, they sold their souls. And they keep having the souls operate on a spiritual frequency talking about, yeah, I'm on a spiritual journey, and yeah, the spiritual antenna on your head. No, that's an etheric antenna on your head. And that's an etheric antenna inside your head, which is called the pineal gland. That operate on many different frequencies of colors. It could be stuck on a low frequency color when it's vibrating low, but it vibrate in many different colors, as well as our veins, our arteries and stuff like that. So with that being said, we souls. That's why they had the thing Soul Train. Like, go back to Soul Train, where all the souls was wearing afros and stuff like that. Like, wasn't nobody on no spirit this and spirit that. I'm on my spiritual journey. Like, come on, that's electricity. That's low frequency. Electricity is a low form of ether. So yeah, straight up, like, come on. We souls, man. We ain't supposed to be operating on a spiritual frequency. Man, rise up and wake the hell up. Stop with this spirit shit. Stop listening to these spiritual teachers who y'all think because they got a bunch of followers and thousands of people watching them and all of that. That's weak. That means anybody and everybody could get in. Anybody could get in. So don't do it to yourself. Look your own self in the mirror and look at the vessel that the gods had manifested for you here. The soul that you incorporated yourself into, and use that as a blueprint to carry yourself on a higher level while you're on this plane. And what you do on this plane determines where you go on the next. But that's it. I'm out. 9 is it, non-essential. Peace.